At Tesla, things just went from strange to stranger. Tesla just cut the price of FSD to $8,000, down from $12,000 in the US. This is about a week after Tesla cut the FSD subscription price from $200 to $100 a month, which sparked a huge discussion about why didn't Tesla cut the FSD price? If you just buy it outright, it makes no sense to buy it anymore. And the argument was, well, it is going to be sold relatively soon, so why would Tesla sell FSD at a lower price if it could just sell you the full package in full price in, let's say, 12 months or 24 months? However, Elon Musk just said this, lots of work to achieve that, but yes, in reply to I have very high confidence in the long-term value of Tesla, I really see a path to a 5x, maybe a 10x increase in the value of the company. And I firmly stand with Elon Musk on that. Elon did, however, have a specific comment about the cuts that just happened, and actually there are more Tesla price cuts going on right now. I'll go through all of the latest news. There's a lot of Tesla news this weekend. If you appreciate daily Tesla stock news, including on weekends, click the like button. Omar, a big Tesla stock bull, says, I think that if you had a monkey throw stuff at a keyboard to come up with a pricing strategy for Tesla, it would be more coherent than what we have seen. Subscription price will go up once we release FSD. Actually, we will cut it. We are raising Model Y prices. Actually, now we are lowering them. Yesterday, Tesla cut Model Y prices, and there are more cuts later today that I will go through as well. It's amusing to follow, but probably confusing to consumers. Should I buy FSD now because the price was cut, or should I wait for the next FSD price cut and save thousands of dollars? Well, this is one of the downsides of a direct-to-consumer model. The price transparency is great, but it causes a lot of confusion and or people to wait for more discounts. At traditional auto dealerships, it's often that every customer walks out having paid a different price for a car, but that isn't broadcasted to the world. Other cars change prices constantly and often by wide margins via dealer markups and manufacturer/dealer incentives. Only a fool thinks the MSRP is a real price. As Elon Musk, Tesla prices must change frequently in order to match production with demand. I don't think James and Gary Black will be happy to hear this. Not at all. So I do expect some pressure on Tesla's stock tomorrow when the stock market opens, and I will be happy to take advantage of that buying opportunity again. In the short term, though, we could go lower, certainly, but in the long term, I remain firmly bullish on Tesla stock. Exactly just like Elon remains bullish. I became a Tesla stock investor in early 2019, so I already went through a few Tesla roller coasters. This is just another one, and there will be many more to come. And FSD price is going through a roller coaster of its own. Right now, we're going down, but eventually the trend will reverse. FSD price is now the same as it was in 2020, and back then I couldn't have FSD in my vehicle actually functioning, but now I can turn it on and it actually works fairly well under certain conditions. And I have had many intervention-free drives. Now, I do see quite a few people say that this was highly anticipated, Tesla cutting FSD prices. And in my mind, it's an obvious move to make if you think that FSD is not going to be safer than human driving in the next 12 months. And with Elon going balls to the wall with autonomy, this move does make me less bullish in the short term about FSD, but not in the long term, of course. My timeline for solving FSD has not changed at all. I believe FSD will be safer than human driving before 2030 ends. Tesla also eliminated enhanced autopilot as an option to purchase, which previously cost $6,000 for owners who already had enhanced autopilot. The cost to upgrade to FSD is now $2,000, down from $6,000, making it a great deal. Anyway, I think cutting the FSD price to purchase it outright would have been a better move to do it at the same time as lowering the subscription prices. My guess is maybe Tesla was thinking about just leaving the price for purchasing FSD outright where it was earlier, but then it realized, oh, no one is buying it at all anymore because the subscription prices are so much lower that Tesla decided to cut the FSD price outright. That's, I think, what probably happened. Otherwise, why would you wait for another week and cut the price later and confuse everyone further? It does seem to me that Tesla at the moment, under stronger Elon Musk's leadership, is more agile, and they are going to see some rapid rapid changes come out of nowhere in some cases. Tesla has also just cut prices in China for the Model 3 and the Model Y by 4 to 6%, while the imported Model S and Model X were reduced by as much as 22%. So the prices in China are also coming down. The price of the Model Y long range is now the lowest it has ever been in China, and the same goes for the refreshed Model 3 long range, as well as a Model Y rear-wheel drive. Model 3 rear-wheel drive, though, is not at the lowest it has ever been. We were slightly below that before, but not by much. However, these are configurator prices, but these price cuts are not necessarily bad news. The new pricing strategy is now well defined, and inventory discounts everywhere and a price cut on headline number, but the price cut is actually below the previous discounted price, meaning everything being equal, prices have actually increased. Let's see what happens in mid-May and into June, because this right now is just the first month of the quarter. There were some price cuts in Norway, Germany, France for the Model 3 as well, and Netherlands, so it seems to be across a large part of Europe. And James goes as far as to say the headlines are going to be ugly, but this price action is actually bullish for average selling price and margin as long as no other discounts pop up in May. But to be honest, I wouldn't count on that. Despite recent price cuts, Tesla is unlikely to avoid negative year-over-year growth for 2 consecutive quarters because it's difficult to match the Q2 of last year. I am of two minds on Model Y being the best-selling car in the world, says James. On one hand, it's great and it proves how amazing this car is. It is the best all-around car you can buy when you look at the value you can get for the amount you spend, bar none. On the other hand, Tesla is practically giving them away for free, relatively speaking, because of how poor awareness and consideration is from all of the entrenched EV FUD and misconceptions that Tesla refuses to address in any meaningful way. But Model Y is twice the average selling price of the runner-up in a fraction of the markets, yet is far and away the best-selling car in the world. I don't understand your logic, says Farzad. I think both have a point, and the way I see the point from James is that there is a catalyst remaining that could be unlocked later on and substantially increase Model Y sales even further. But Tesla would have to be very active about destroying FUD and educating customers. Or Tesla makes FSD much better and people start buying Teslas just because they want FSD. In the meantime, Elon Musk announced that the X app is coming soon to Tesla cars. Billionaire Tesla stock investor Cogwin Leo says, do you think the magician milks Tesla cows? Tesla shareholders are his cows? Tesla bulls are now Tesla cows? He says that recently he bought 600,000 Tesla shares, so about $88 million, and he will vote against Elon's compensation package being reinstated. And he replied to this, for being so smart, you are pretty dumb. Elon out equals Tesla crash. Because we have seen some long-time Tesla bulls say that if the compensation package does not get approved, they will sell Tesla stock. So here's how Leo responds. The magician dipped about 23% of Tesla from shareholders' pockets, vested stock options. Not only you didn't notice, you stupidly/naively asked him to dip deeper into your shallow pocket to leave you cold and dry. You were deeply in love. Only when you were abandoned, you cried your heart out in pain. Some, however, refused to acknowledge they had been abandoned, longing and begging him to come back. Hopelessly sad, he says. Remember this? Bitter split at Apple comes to light. Scully says Jobs won't be missed. This is from 1985. And most Tesla bulls on X are in favor of approving the 2018 compensation plan, and Gary Black actually sees that as a positive in his new updated catalyst list, or actually he doesn't call them catalysts anymore, he just calls them positives and negatives. He also thinks that licensing deals are likely. He still predicts the next generation vehicle will launch in 2026, which I believe he thinks will include a consumer-based vehicle as well. He thinks Optimus production will begin in 2026. Some negatives: Q2 delivery estimates are too high. I agree with that, generally speaking. China price war. Yep, Tesla is going further with that. Model Y inventories are at all-time highs, and we just had price cuts. Year-over-year auto revenue growth declining. PE re-rating risk with negative growth, and Trump presidency would be negative for EVs, including Tesla. Gary Black cut his price target for Tesla stock to $200, down from $250 before. He explains his reasoning here for the price target. We have cut our Tesla earnings estimates and price target to reflect this weekend's Tesla price cuts in the US and China, and now in Europe as well. We see little or no volume growth as a result of the price cuts, consistent with last year's experience as competitors match Tesla's price cuts. We expect Wall Street analysts who follow Tesla to do the same tonight or tomorrow. I already made a video warning everyone that I expect price targets for Tesla stock to come down, so I am not caught by surprise here. And we see Tesla lowering interest rates in other countries as well. This is a really interesting FSD observation. FSD transitionary anxiety syndrome. I'm feeling two things in this awkward transitionary phase with FSD. It's good enough that I have started to trust it, but I shouldn't because it's not that good yet. It's a false sense of security. It's made me realize how distracted I am as a driver, and I shouldn't really be driving because of all the things that it catches that I don't. That is, I should be replaced as a driver, but FSD isn't quite good enough to replace me yet. From my personal experience driving on FSD, I haven't really noticed it catching anything that I don't notice, but a few times it has happened where it noticed something just a tiny bit earlier before I noticed. It doesn't happen often for me, but it has happened a few times. He goes as far as to say he would feel naked without FSD. A few days ago, my FSD would not engage and I felt scared not having the software there to watch my back. I definitely don't quite feel the same way, definitely not yet, but I do enjoy having FSD when changing lanes during rush hour traffic because it just sees everything all around me all at once. A few observations have been made about 4680s. Tesla is producing 4680 batteries in Texas that can fit in over 1,000 Cybertrucks a week. Recall data shows that we have shipped about 4,000 Cybertrucks, so 4680 production is definitely not a bottleneck. In other words, if that statement of Tesla making enough batteries for 1,000 Cybertrucks per week is true, not just for 1 week, but for all of the weeks, they are able to produce about 13,000 vehicles worth of 4680 cells per quarter, but are only producing 4,000 Cybertrucks a quarter, which would put 4680 production 3x ahead of General Assembly. However, at large, Troy still thinks that 4680 production for Tesla remains a problem. Check this clip out. So the vehicle could have still gone forward, but it did see this vehicle earlier and it's letting it come out, and only then after it comes out, the Tesla vehicle moves forward eventually. It does take a little bit of time, but eventually it does do it. Very human-like. And I have experienced something like this a few times myself. Oh, and check this out. What Tesla is doing is certainly having an effect right now. Gregor's friend just upgraded from enhanced autopilot to FSD because of the lower price. So this is going to help Tesla's bottom line in the short term. To some degree, Elon's 2018 compensation package became a bit of a political issue within the Tesla community. Not quite, but I can certainly see some resemblance of politics with this issue. Bears want to make this a referendum on Musk and whether you like him. In reality, politics and other issues have nothing to do with this. This is about whether the company will keep its end of the deal made in 2018. If the company cannot be trusted to keep its word, it will not be able to retain any leader. Thanks, Omar. There is certainly a lot of feuding going on within the Tesla community right now because of this issue. Back to FSD, I choose to believe that this type of extrapolation is exactly what led Elon to predict FSD level 5 in 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and now 2024. They always had a ceiling way too early. Will this time be different? Eventually, it will be. And this time, James even thinks it's possible, and we should know one way or the other inside a few months. The reason Elon seems to be getting so confident about FSD is because FSD has basically become a math problem. Data plus compute plus model complexity equals predictable result. Elon knows where Tesla stands with each of these and their trajectory, and so he should have a good idea when FSD will be solved. Remember this FSD take, which basically said it looks like Tesla has or will soon have the data and compute they will need for training FSD to full autonomy, but the vehicle may need more compute to handle a model that's orders of magnitude to larger, which would suggest that Tesla would need to deploy better computers to its vehicles. There's a good rebuttal here. This take, while interesting, is wrong. Let me explain first by an example in the figure. Llama 2 and 3 have the same model size and their architecture is almost the same. The only difference is the amount of compute and amount and quality of data. Their performance margin is huge. So the inference inside of Tesla's vehicles found in the computers is not necessarily a bottleneck. The key is still data amount, quality, and compute. Model approach will also matter. I have thoughts on that, but we'll leave it to another day. And to some degree, he did reply agreeing what Llama did does not necessarily project to FSD, but maybe. Scaling law is not a law, it's an empirical observation. Again and again, data quality and amount as well as compute are super important. And did you know FSD 12 is much smaller than FSD 11? Just a neural net part. Wow, someone just had an 18-minute drive in downtown Boston, downtown, with no interventions. He says FSD is 99.99% solved. Just had a 70 to 80 minute drive downtown Boston, no intervention. Saturday night, busy street life. And there was a game as well, so a ton of pedestrian traffic on the street and on my green light. Traffic was crazy, traffic lights backed up, pedestrians crossing whenever they want. I found for myself, when that happens, lane selection becomes a bit of a problem because at least here in Vancouver, you have lanes where you can only turn right or go straight and you need to be in that particular lane. But when traffic backs up, FSD becomes a bit rude and it tries to skip and then it tries to get in last moment. But his experience was different. FSD 12.4, polite and patient. Oh wait, he has 12.4, not 12.3.4? Well, that's quite incredible then. It finds its way with ease, slows on green light when it sees pedestrians coming towards the crossing, gives way to pedestrians even when it's our right, all way on green light, keeps out of the crossing if there is not enough space. It always does that for me, by the way, and it does that very well. Does recognize double parked cars with blinkers on and goes around. Now, he says that there's a video, but I cannot find it anywhere. Also, I'm pretty sure he has 12.3.4 and not 12.4. I haven't seen anyone say anything about 12.4 being out. So I wouldn't get too excited about this post yet. Also, I do see quite a few people saying that in Boston, FSD right now is not that great. But I'm happy he had a great experience on FSD. Back to Cybertruck. I don't understand the people critical of Tesla for its almost 4,000 deliveries since late December. This is a great number this early in the ramp. Some even think there is a demand issue. Definitely there is not a demand issue. The truck is selling for over 6 digits. There is a backlog. They don't even have display models in all of their service centers yet. Sales is not demand. Not in this case. Yeah, the Cybertruck is the hottest vehicle in the NBA right now. And if this is true, the Cybertruck is about to get even better. Fairly certain that while the hardware is present for active noise cancellation in Cybertruck, the software doesn't currently have it active. And people already praise the Cybertruck for how quiet it is inside, so it will only get better, maybe, if that is true. Look how quickly Tesla can fix the recall problem. You just put this on, drill it down, and done. Okay, that was pretty fast. In the meantime, Tesla is also participating in EV auto shows. In this particular one, Tesla was well positioned. Right as you walk in the door on the way to the main exhibit hall, you can sign up for a test drive. And Cybertruck was on display as well. Lately, James has not been praising Tesla, but this time he says, good job, Tesla. Rapper Meek Mill is having an issue with his Hummer EV. The brake pedal cover seemingly came off when he tried to brake. And yeah, this is a result of the whole thing. So the Hummer V is also probably going to have a recall, similar to what Cybertruck just went through. So that's an unfortunate incident. This post from Fazad is going semi-viral. The reason why Uber has surge pricing is not because of a limit of taxis, it's a limit of how many people are willing to operate them versus the demand of hailing a taxi. When you remove the driver from the equation, a self-driving taxi or robotaxi, the limiting factor becomes the number of taxis. If a taxi can drive itself, how many taxis are needed to satiate the demand during surges? 1,000, 10,000? Seems like the player that can operate a driverless network of robotaxis doesn't need that many taxis out there to take 100% of the market, given that the largest percentage of cost of the taxi by far, the driver, will be removed. There's lots of talk about this. Congratulations to Mercedes-Benz for being the first automaker in the USA to sell level 3 autonomous cars that don't require drivers to watch the road. But there are a ton of restrictions with this Mercedes level 3 autonomous system. Number one, it only works on 0.2% of roads and can only be used on highways. The car can only travel at 40 miles per hour or slower on a highway. Can only be used at temperatures above 40 Fahrenheit. You cannot be the only car on the road. The weather must be good, so no rain. Must be daytime, no construction zones. In the meantime, Tesla's FSD Supervised has none of these restrictions. You can use it on nearly any road in the US. You just need to lightly touch the steering wheel every 30 seconds. Actually, you don't even quite need to do that. I just increase or decrease the music volume, and I find that works much better for me, because if I try to steer the steering wheel, I sometimes disengage from FSD, which is really annoying, so I don't do that anymore. Tesla fans are quick to share context about the Mercedes Level 3 ADAS, all the limitations. It's important, of course, and I'm on record calling it gimmicky, but I also think they deserve some credit for at least trying to push autonomy forward. If it does work as intended reliably, that's cool. Let's not just dismiss it. It's laughable how legacy media will portray it better than Tesla, but they are mostly a joke, so why is anyone surprised? Many other prominent companies aren't doing much at all, Toyota, and others are dragging pedestrians, and as a result, they are in a timeout. Well put, Dylan, well put. That includes, of course, Cruise's GM, and others are far from making money or scaling, Waymo. For those in the know, no other system is even comparable to Tesla's. China is attempting to quickly follow Elon's blueprint, no LiDAR, but you can't go back 5+ years and start collecting data, and those cars face major hurdles making it to the United States. So well done by Mercedes for trying, but it's still Tesla and then others. Now, Farzad says, not sure if reduced full price FSD still makes sense under current setup. At $99 per month, it will take 7 years to get any benefit for paying $8,000 upfront, plus without ability to transfer. Value proposition is dubious in my opinion, unless this earns you the right to upgrade to level 3 unsupervised at zero cost, or a medallion/token to gain access to the robotaxi network with the vehicle so that it can generate revenue for you on your behalf. Now, this is a bit strange, but why doesn't this text mention the auto lane change, auto park, navigate on autopilot, or summon/smart summon features that come with this package? They were previously listed under enhanced autopilot. This is from Tesla's website. It says your car will be able to drive itself almost anywhere with minimal driver intervention and will continuously improve auto steer on city streets, traffic light, and stop sign control. Dylan points out that Tesla's prior consolidation period lasted 5.8 years, almost 6 years. Tesla's current consolidation period has only been 3.5 years. I know many investors are new to Tesla, but behavior like this from Tesla is not actually new. So Gary Black just did a victory lap on selling some Tesla stock earlier, but Sasha points out that he just forgot to mention that he bought Rivian instead. Rivian is down 95% from when Gary had a price target of $1,200 on it. Point is not his stock picks. I never criticize others' investing decisions. That's up to them, but maybe don't do victory laps and pretend you're some sort of an investing messiah when you're busy throwing stones from your glass house. Gary saved money by selling Tesla and stash it away carefully in a furnace for safekeeping. There's actually quite a bit of drama on X going on that I don't often include. Otherwise, my videos would be 40 minutes long every day. I'd like to thank all of my regular viewers who click the like button because it really helps, and last video yesterday got more views in the first 24 hours compared to all of my daily Tesla news episodes than any other episode I have made so far. And that is thanks to you guys clicking the like button. So if you don't mind, please click the like button right now. It really is quite ridiculous that this channel with 3,400 subscribers is completely obliterating my other big channel with 40,000 subscribers, which has been shadow banned. As you can see, the last few videos are getting a lot lot less views than normal. And as I am proving with this channel, it's not because people don't want to watch. It's because YouTube is being a Tesla bear and is not recommending my videos to people that actually want to watch them. So I'd like to thank so much to every one of you who clicks the like button, subscribes. Without that, there's no way I would be able to rebuild quickly. So thank you again for clicking the like button and helping me fight the YouTube algorithm who is being a Tesla bear right now. My name is Matt Postius, and I will see you in the next episode tomorrow.